The Seahawks head to NRG Stadium in Houston to take on the Texans in Week 14. What's going on? Jackie Montgomery with your Week 14 game preview. Well, coming off of the big victory over the 49ers last weekend, the Seahawks are hoping to start stacking wins. Their first test will be the 2-10 Houston Texans. The Texans have had a lot of turnover in recent years. In fact, they have 34 new faces on their current roster, including a new rookie head coach in David Coley. Despite all that, the Seahawks are not taking them lightly.
Heading to Houston, we got a big trip coming up. We've got to capture some of the rhythm that we felt in the game last week and add to it. I would love to see us play a good complementary game where we feed off one another on offense and defense and maybe capture some of the opportunities that could arise in special teams just to play really good football. And so that's extremely important for us to keep working to getting better and keep believing we can get better and get that done. So it happens to be happening in Houston. It's a big week for us to come back and capture a win this week and take the next steps.
The Texans offense sits at the bottom of the NFL in several categories. The team is coming off a 31-0 loss to the Indianapolis Colts. Veteran QB Tyrod Taylor started the game but was benched, allowing rookie Davis Mills out of Stanford to finish out the contest. Mills went 0 for 6 as a starter while Taylor was dealing with an injury earlier this year. In his 8 appearances this season, Mills has completed 65% of his passes for over 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions.
He's really smooth. He throws the ball really nice. He's got a good enough arm to throw everything. He throws the whole offense. He's moved well enough, and when he's taken off, he's still a young guy trying to figure it out. He's done a nice job. You can see he can play the position. He's not struggling at all. He gets the ball out of his hands well when you pressure him and things like that, so he's not getting hit. Like some of the young guys can get banged around, and so he's done okay.
I think from a scheme perspective, they're pretty much the same, but obviously Tyrod has a ability to run. They have a little bit more zone reads and things where he can keep the ball. They run it with the other guy, but he's not going to keep it too much, and it's not really designed for him to keep it. It's more so for when we're falling asleep, he'll keep it just to keep us honest. But I think that's the biggest difference. But as far as the routes and what they're looking for, it's pretty much the same.
Looking at the Texans' defense, they have been aggressive when it comes to forcing turnovers. With 21 forced turnovers, they rank near the top of the league in takeaways, including 14 interceptions by 10 different players.
Houston does a great job of getting after the ball. They punch it out. They make great plays in the secondary. Linebackers do too. They do a tremendous job. They play with high effort. This team's a really good football team, even though the record may not necessarily demonstrate everything they've done. To have 14 interceptions and to have all the things they've done. They're coached extremely well. Obviously, Lovie Smith's a tremendous football coach who's been in the league for a long time. Is highly regarded and highly respected across the league. And so I think that they've done a great job of making plays. They got playmakers across the board.
Looking at all their turnovers, they do a little bit of everything well. First of all, when you're running with the ball, they're punching at it every chance they get. They're really coming aggressively after the ball. So any loose balls right there, they're coming in fist first. So they got to do a great job locking it up, especially, whether it's in the open field or in the core of the line. Anytime that happens, we're ready for that to be part of their plan. And then, in the secondary and even their linebackers, they do a great job attacking the ball in the air. And they've gotten a good amount of picks, 14 of them, and a good amount of those have been those guys coming downhill and high pointing the football and taking it, not waiting for it to come down to them. So offensively, just that aggressive mindset when the ball's in the air and not let them be the aggressor.
When it comes to the Seahawks defense, they will have to adjust to playing without star safety Jamal Adams for the first time this season. That said, the team is confident in Ryan Neal, who will step into the role. Neal also filled in for Adams last season when he was dealing with a shoulder injury.
He's really stepped in from the moment he stepped on the field, making a really solid impact with his mind, with his speed, with his ability, and not to mention the special teams he plays on. He's just a fantastic player. He's really good for the room, and a lot of young guys, and he's a young guy himself. He really sets a good example when he learns. Him and Quandre are pretty tight, and those guys work really well together.
Coming off a win against the 49ers that snapped a 3-game losing streak, the team is riding that momentum into Sunday's game and looking for a similar outcome.
There's no doubt. I mean, we've lost enough games. We lost enough. We we figure that thing out. We need to keep building on the wins, and go from it, because it's such a different feeling. It is, and from the locker room, getting off the field, just coming off the sidelines as the game's over, things shift, and so we're working to build on that and try to capture the good and the fun and the playmaking and the continuity that we felt to finish the game and all the things that were necessary, and carry that over. That whole thing is really, that's the art of building on it, and so that you can create momentum moving forward. We're going to try to do that.
We're not satisfied with where we're at, even though we got one win, and we're looking to try to build off of where we finished last week.
Well, the Seahawks and Texans have only faced each other 4 times, with the Seahawks getting 3 wins against the Texans, including a crazy 41-38 shootout at Lumen Field back in 2017. Well, kickoff for this one is set for 10 a.m. Pacific, and you can watch it live on Fox.